Hi everyone, Comic Reviewer here, and this time reviewing on Tekken 2010 film review. Now, as you know, Tekken is a popular fighting game that came out in the mid-90s. Much like Mortal Kombat, much like Street Fighters, and so on, had spawned countless of sequels, merchandise, and eventually Tekken got its own movie. Now, the premise of the movie takes place in the near future, where basically much of civilization has been destroyed, 8 corporations have survived, and there is this King of Iron Fist tournament where fighters from 8 corporations battle each other for fame and fortune. Now, with the film itself, introduces us to Jin Kasuya, who, unlike the game counterpart, his mum is alive in a way, and after something that happens to her, forces him to go into the tournament, and basically ends up meeting Steve Fox and Christy Monteiro. Now, I feel like the actor who plays Steve Fox is too old to be the character, and I feel Steve Fox was meant to be what it shouldn't have been in the movie. I feel with Brian Fury, all that would have made more sense. Or hell, they could have added in Xiao Yu instead of Christy, and could have added in her grandfather for Steve Fox. It would have made more sense. Now, I feel like the characters, when they act, come off as either boring, dull, or not really good enough. I feel like I wanted to know more about the other fighters, but we hardly get any actions from them. I think if they had Eddie Gordo be more involved with Christy, it would have made more sense. Now, what's actually interesting is Gary Holt-D Takawa, who plays Jin's grandfather, Hatsumi Mishima, is also known for playing Shang Tsung in Mortal Kombat. So it's interesting to see him do a different take on something, and I feel he does a decent job for the character. So, in other words, what else? I feel like Jin's other love interest, Kara, is just added in there, and then we don't see any more reaction from her after that. They just throw her in, and then just quickly forget about her. I feel most of the casting's alright. I feel most of it comes off as boring, dull, and the actors try to do their best. I feel John Fu tries to be Jin, but fails. What's even worse is that they even try to do a prequel called Kasuya's Revenge that went literally nowhere and just got really bad views as well. So I feel like, as well, its plot is there, but I feel like there was no need to make a movie based on Tekken. And I think this is the problem with making a movie based on fighting games. They'll end up being good, bad, or just not really gonna go anywhere if you give it to the wrong person. Now, in my opinion, was survival no gain for Tekken? There was a survival for it. If it had a better director, better casting, then it could have been saved. I think that the film comes off as boring, dull, not good, and the casting just comes off as complete waste material. So, in my opinion, it deserves a thumbs down. Not the best, not one of the greatest, and not one of the finest. So, Comic Reviewer here, signing out.